what if you were playing Mario Kart like a mad lad, and you were wondering, how can I make the game any more difficult? Well, you could probably, go a higher CC, you could try not using items, or playing with a character you usually don't play with unfavorable stats. But what if you were like me and decided that this game should be, at its core, at least 100% more harder? Then, I recommend you try this. Can you beat Mario Kart Double Dash without touching any item boxes? Now I know what you guys are thinking. This is a pretty easy challenge. Spoiler alert, it's not. But here's the rules. Basically, go through every cup course, every track, and do not touch any other item boxes going through it. You touch an item box, you lose. Here are a couple of little things. Obviously, you know the losing condition. I am going to allow save states, and save scumming at worst. I do eventually have to use save states. The reason for that is if I can technically use save states if I screw up, but then recorrect my screw up, technically if you were a stupidly precise player, you could get through it. So this challenge is kind of up to you guys. Because if you consider that me using save states to recorrect an issue, so if I touch an item box and I recorrect it using a save state, and if you think that's cheating, then I probably did not pass this challenge, unfortunately. So here is my recommendations, and I will show you my other recommendations physically when I actually play. So, obviously, Grand Prix, I do recommend 50cc. You'd need the head start from the computers, because there are some shortcuts you just cannot take. My recommendation is anybody in the small category. That leaves you with only 6 characters, I guess 7 technically, if you count Bowser Jr. as a small character. But you need a small loadout, so that's why I took Toad and Toadette. I took out this cart here. Your biggest recommendation is you're going to want speed and acceleration. Weight, I don't figure is a problem, because you have to go off-road a lot of times to avoid item boxes, and acceleration is king. So I don't recommend the Koopa cart. You can probably use the green one, but the bullet bill kind of has a really nice little mix. I don't recommend you use the gold cart because it just gets way too big, even for the small size. So just use the bullet bill, in my opinion. You can probably get away with using anything with 2-star speed and 4 acceleration. But honestly, sacrifice the speed, or sacrifice the weight and get good stats on both speed and acceleration. How this challenge works is we'll go through all 4 of the standard cups, because technically if you can do it all the 4 standard cups, you could do it in all cup tour. So I'm going to save time and not do all cup tour in this recording. So we will do the 4 main cups, and then you just consider that we could do the same with all cup tour. Can I beat this game, or at least all 4 of the major cups, without touching an item box? Let's find out. So the first track we start on is Luigi's Circuit of the Mushroom Cup. Now this track isn't too hard, and it's a good way to start learning some of the techniques of this challenge, which I'm going to talk about because this one isn't that difficult. So let's just go through the course first. As you can see, left side on the off-road in the first section here. This one provides you 2 choices. I prefer going on the outside here on the left. You can also head to the top of the right curve thing, but personally I think you lose space there, so it's up to you. This one, take whichever side you want as an off-road, and of course on the last one here, also do the same. And now let's clarify a couple of things while I go through this pretty easy course, now that you know what's going on. 2 techniques I want to tell you about. So obviously you should know about drifting and the turbo boosting with drifting. These are things that are very key to winning this challenge. First of all, if you kind of get a drift going on the outside, if you're off-roading a bit, you can get a little bit of speed back in, as I terribly perform here, but I'll perform better later on. There's 2 benefits for getting the drift boost in there. First off, the biggest benefit is you can drift your way and kind of not lose as much speed as long as you don't stay off-road too long. Or if you can build up a boost and go off-road, you can use the boost from there, like the little that I got from the drift there. You can use that to get out of the back onto the road quicker and regain your speed really quick. It's up to you. I do recommend it. The drift in this game is awesome. Use it. And second of all, something I want to quickly note. Technically, if you were to do a no items run, no item boxes and stuff like that, you wouldn't use anything. But technically, since I'm only doing a no item box run, you still can use items on the ground. So if you find a mushroom or a star on the ground, you can still use them. I'll show you when I use them, obviously. It's up to you if you feel like that's fair or not, so, you know, it's up to you on that one. Anyway, Luigi Circuit, it's simple. It's a nice warm-up. Let's go to a secret, terrible course in disguise. You may be wondering, which one's that? Well, obviously you know which one's next. Peach Beach is next. Alright, let's talk about Peach Beach. Because this one has a deceptively evil placement, and I'll show you when these tracks get nasty. This first one's not too bad, but you're gonna have to off-road for it. Avoid the fork on the left side and try to cut the beach short if you can. Don't try to do the whole loop if you can, but don't obviously drown your vehicle, because, you know, it's not Mario Kart 8 or 7 yet. This one, just stay on the off-road path. You're gonna have to lose a bit of speed on the off-road to avoid it. Now, this next item box patch sucks, because you can off-road the whole part and avoid all of these, but you will slow down immensely, and those item boxes are moving, which to me means they are so much harder to avoid. I had to try this one a couple of times because Peach Beach and those item boxes at the end are terrible. The rest of this course is pretty simple, as per par of Mushroom Cup. I had no difficulties in this whole cup. I'm just going to warn you right now. This one, just take off-road. I think I've already said it, but, you know, it's simple enough. Just take it off-road. And here we go for the second run of this trash lineup right here. I do not like that lineup. It costed me a lot of tries. So at this point, as you can see, I haven't started save stating yet, like save scumming. I've obviously save stated after every course, that makes sense, but these courses aren't that bad, can be done in one run. So yeah, but later on, at the start, or the end of Flower Cup, I will start using save states because it gets really nasty at some parts. So technically, if you can beat it in one run using save states, you technically can beat it in all at once without save states. I'm just not patient enough to do that. That'd be a lot of retrying. Anyway, Peach Beach is easy, other than that last batch of item boxes, and we move on. Baby Park. Alright, let's talk about this one. This one is probably one of the most chaotic maps or tracks of this game, but for our challenge, it is actually probably the most simple. Just take one of the sides. I usually use the right side because it's more tighter, and you can, you know, it's technically shorter than taking it long ways. But honestly, this one does not bring any difficulty. Just avoid the two large patches. There's no moving item boxes like in the Mario Kart 8 versions. There's only the two lines of boxes, so go nuts. It's pretty easy. There's not a whole lot to talk about here, but it's a cool course. I love to see it come back every once in a while. Maybe not, maybe again for a little bit, because we've seen this one 3 times. You know, there's other courses that really could use a new revival. Cocoa Mountain. I'd like to see Cocoa Mountain again, but that would be 3 times after the DS version, so I don't know. I'd be okay to see it again. Or, yeah, it's good. It's from 64. I do like the remake it gets in Mario Kart 8 though, but I think that's more than enough. I think we can probably use other courses than this one now. yeah, just enjoy yourself. It's really easy, this course. If you screw up it, we're not friends, so, you know, don't screw it up. It's pretty easy, don't worry about it. Anyway, we're wrapping it up here. We're gonna finish this last 7th lap, and we will be moving on to Dry Desert in a moment. So let's talk about Dry Desert. Those items aren't too bad to move, and my recommendation is don't be afraid to use the yellow colored sand. You slow down a little bit, but not as much as the orange colored sand. So use the yellow sand to your advantage. This actually makes a lot of these roads not that difficult, and this comes from what scare people in some ideas. It's a pretty easy course in the other half. Yeah, this is honestly really easy. In this section here, avoid the hills, honestly, because you don't need to. One little tip that I have that cost me a couple of retries on this one is just where the items are positioned and the pokies. As you saw there, I took a hit for the pokey. That's my recommendation. Always take the clear path, even if you're going to take a hit. Don't swerve around the pokey and swerve right into an item or lose good time. You know, if you have to get hit by a pokey to stay on track and not hit an item, don't be afraid to. The rest of this course is pretty simple. Stay in yellow sand to cross over some of the item spots, and you don't lose that much speed as long as you get out a little bit quicker. Don't get sucked by this thing. Don't hit pillars, by the way. I don't really know why I took the hit from the pillar there. Just don't. Yeah, other than that, this course is pretty easy, so enjoy your victory, because it does get a little bit harder once Flower Cup hits. So enjoy this easy Mushroom Cup. Well, not easy, completely. You know, Peach Beach is a little bit nasty, if, it decides to be like that. But this course is nice and easy for a nice little wrap-up, and an overall pretty easy cup. Welcome to Flower Cup, and with that, welcome to Mushroom Bridge. This one has a very annoying first lap, but the rest of the laps aren't that bad. I'll talk about it once we go through the course once. But really pay attention to this corner, and you'll see why. This section here. Now, why is this nasty? Well, a couple of things, and I'm going to explain this sort of simple. There are 5 item boxes on the first lap in that first section. 2 of them are what we call moving boxes, or traversal boxes. What that means is they're obviously moving around the stage at a fixed rate. And then we call the other 3 there, dormant ones, that are staying there, they don't move, and they're just locked in place to be collected. So in this first lap, there's a mixture of 2 traversals item boxes and the 3 dormant ones. Dormant, you know what I mean. So that makes this much more difficult. There's ones that are moving and there's ones that are not, which makes this first lap stupidly difficult. But once you pass it, like I think I passed it here, thank goodness, slowing down, it becomes easy sailing for the rest of the course. Literally, that was the only difficult one. Once you get through that first batch on the first lap, it's pretty easy. A couple ways I've learned to make that one easy we'll talk about in the second lap. There's that one there, which is only 3 dormant ones. Which is not bad. And then of course we got a couple on the bridge here. Once you get past the bridge, it's home sailing to the next lap. Now let's talk about strategies on that first lap one. just because I know it's a bit of a bugger. And it costs me, obviously, like 4 games, as you saw. My best strategy on that one is take it slow. You might be able to hug the walls, but I doubt it. It looks too tight. So just take it a little slower to start on that one, and then once you get to the second and third lap, it's pretty much easy sailing. The only thing that might be a little challenging is the other, like when you get the item boxes that are traversing. But do know that they're all going the same way as you, so as long as they're not hiding behind one of those like wiggler buses, you'll be able to see them coming and plan your route. That being said, be very careful when near those wiggler buses because they could be hiding an item box that you just can't see. It's possible, so be very careful with it. Other than that, this course, after that first lap, this course is pretty easy. It's just your normal standard hazards. I don't think I really mentioned it, but I have a little bit of time anyway. One of the hardest things about this challenge is you are going to be itemless. You cannot defend yourself, so whatever your opponents throw at you, you have to take it. Red shells, blue shells, there's nothing you can do to defend against those. Some stages give you defense, like in this one you can defend yourself using cars, but the blue shell's not going to be swerved by cars. Red shells are usually a bit smarter, but not honestly. You can kind of play it this way. Anyway, Mushroom Bridge is done. Let's move on. Mario Circuit. Let's talk about this one. Oh boy. It's not bad. It's not terrible. It's a little bit rough. Make sure to avoid this one using the off-roading. That one's... I think you can probably pass through that one, but it's a little too tight. Just play it safe. We'll be dealing with tight spaces and terrible item boxes later. This one here, just again, off-road, probably to the right. You'd also slip through if, like, an opponent's, you know, taking it, but just play it safe on that one. The nice thing about this course is I think the item boxes are spread out pretty fairly, so there's only 3 of them, 3 rows. This one, don't take it all on road. There's a little bit of space that you can try to maneuver yourself around, but just play it safe, honestly. There's just not enough space on that 3rd row to guarantee that going on the road will not, you know, will not give you a challenge fail. Other than that, though, the other 2 are pretty avoidable. I don't know, I thought I had trouble with this one. Okay, let me see my trouble list. Okay, it wasn't on my... Oh, it was on my trouble list. I don't know why this one was on my trouble list. This one's actually not that bad. I did have a few failures on it, but that's like, you know, it was pretty standard. No, we got potential trouble coming up later, don't worry. So yeah, I honestly don't recommend taking the road. There's just too much tight space there, and you have to maneuver quickly. So just take the off-road there, it's safer. Yeah, so this one's actually not that hard. Just get through it. It's honestly, meh. Off-road this bit here again. There you can see the drift in action there. I don't know, maybe it helps, maybe it doesn't. I think it just helps because it orinates your path when you have to go off-road. Try to do it when you can. Maybe tell me if it works. Let's go on to Daisy Cruiser. Here we go. Now this one, oh boy. There's a little bit of hardness, but there's also quite a bit of easy go-throughs on this one. One of the biggest things is the tilting on the ship when it tilts item boxes on the 1st and 2nd patches. So the first one is on the deck, as you saw on the metal deck, and then on this one, the dining area, this is probably one of the most notorious rooms, but surprisingly, I played it out very carefully. Most item boxes on the right side will not hit you if you go on the far right, so that's when I recommend it. If you can't avoid those 2 item boxes on the top section, head to the bottom. It's safe, you get a clear way through. You might lose a bit of time though, so be careful. This one's obviously the easiest one because you can slide this way, and going on the orange path does not slow you down. As you can see, I'm at the mercy of Wario and Waluigi here, and we're on the second lap. So this, yeah, the first one is one of the tilters, so I think we actually see tilt, not no, last lap. I make a stupid mistake here, took that turn too sharp. Thank goodness that pool becomes less, you know, notorious on, is it the, yeah, it's Mario Kart 64 that brings it back. That one becomes less nasty, I think. Here I am taking the far right again. Sweet drifting, bro. I don't know what I did here, but I was able to sneak across that side, so that's a possibility. But I lost some speed time there. Yeah, it's not that bad of a course. It's got a couple of tough ones. The dining room can be specifically annoying. And of course, like, between the downstairs section and staying above. And this one can even be a little bit difficult if the tilt's just not in your favor. I had a fear that a tilt was going to happen. I probably could have been committed. And then that happened, so I had to give up the spot. Thankfully, the AI on 50cc are stupid, so you can just sneak past them. I think I played it pretty risky on this one. Yeah, I wouldn't have done... Yeah, I almost got caught there. Don't do what I did there. Play it safe if you have to. If you can risk it, do it. Anyway, I let the Koopa Kids open the path for me, and then it's a race to the finish. Will the Koopa Kids give me the win? Let's find out. Just kidding. It looks pretty unpromising. I do my drift here, and by stupid luck, their own shell hit them, and I take the win. And that is Daisy Cruiser, a could be potentially hard one. Alright, so let's talk about Waluigi Stadium, because it's a doozy. Okay, so, starting off with Waluigi Stadium, you have an item box right ahead. So the worst things about this course, and also I want to note, by the way, this is when I started save scumming, because this one is nasty. So the jump boosts, the fires aren't too bad. Take it by the right or the left. This one, I don't really do really good strategy with this lap. I recommend you take the right, so you don't lose speed. This section's not terrible, unless the piranha plants are making it terrible. So if the piranha plants are kind of inside their pipe thing, this becomes a whole lot easier. If they're out, it becomes riskier. So kind of keep that in mind, keep the spacing. This is jank. I don't know, this is what I pulled off every single round, this jump there. But other than that, I don't really know how to get through it. I got really lucky at that time. I probably would have hit the item box there, because I took that jump terribly, and as you can see, I save stated. So yeah, this is where I started save scumming, because this one can be nasty. I was actually worried about this one. I didn't know if I could do it, but it is possible. So for the hoops, just take it on the right side here. If you get burned, no big deal. Take the right side on this one. Learn from my first time mistake. On these piranha plants, you gotta be very careful. Take it like here, go through. I save stated for whatever reason. I think this one's not that bad, honestly. Now this one, I don't know if there's enough space to take the left. I think there is, but I was being, yeah, there's enough space on the left, but I was being stubborn. I took that weird jump every single time. I don't know if that saved me any space, but, you know, I save state here for whatever reason. Yeah, take the fire if you have to, like that. It's not touching an item box. Take the side jump there, go through. That was a pretty easy banana I probably could have avoided. My jumps are not that great either. I was playing this game pretty bad. But the point is the same. Use the sides on your jumps. Right side on this one. The piranha plants, kind of try to like keep the middle if you can, or just the outside edge of the piranha plant thing. Don't be like that though. I barely won this one out, but this one is a nasty course. It's kind of a wake to come, because don't worry, Wario's is much worse. I actually almost honestly thought that Wario's could not be beat, but you'll see that in a bit. So technically, I'm going to put this out there again, save stating, save scumming, save if you will. If you don't think that this completes the challenge for me, you're probably going to hate the rest of this video. But technically, if I can save scum it through it, then yeah. Then I count it as everyone else. Okay, Sherbetland. Let's talk about this. This one is the worst. Nah, it's not. But it's definitely a step up from everything we've dealt with so far. There's a lot of tight-spaced item boxes. There's moving item boxes. There's more moving item boxes, long rows, ice physics. This one is a nasty one for this challenge, but thankfully we have these hills on a lot of these sections, especially on the other half, that let you avoid some of the item boxes. By the way, ice physics suck, and combine those with moving item boxes, it's the worst. Take this jump. Yeah, because you won't lose that much space going off-road as long as your speed is good. The off-road won't take you too much. This one is probably the worst. That one right there, that 3-row, because they're moving, like, I don't feel like I can dodge those guys at all. I think that's personally the worst. This one's not bad. I almost got caught there. But you can use the edge, like the hills here, to jump through some of this and kind of avoid everything. This one's not too bad because the item boxes are spread out. Also, I take the star here because it's a free star. Hell yeah. Plus, this helps me with this jump here. I can literally just jump through all of it and not lose that much time. And I'm going to do some more stupid maneuvering on this part here. Oh, close end. I had to slow down a little bit there. I was about to get caught. As you can see, I save stated because I was breathing heavily on that one. I kind of hugged the wall a little too tight on that one. Yeah, this one's not terrible, but it can, if you're kind of put in the right position, that one could be if. So this course took me a good 10 minutes. Obviously, this is the successful run because I was cutting through a lot of it. You've already seen some. Actually, I didn't cut through that many, but I did have a lot of trouble with this one during testing. Alright, so that one was painful. What about Mushroom City? Mushroom City, well, isn't honestly that bad. Because there's a lot of corners you can hug, like this one, to get her through that one. A lot of the streets are pretty lenient on where the item boxes are. There's some moving item boxes in this one, but they're also following traffic rules on this one. So as long as you kind of look where you are and where the item boxes are flowing, for example, if you're on this side, the item boxes will be coming toward you, and on some other roads that they come with you or whatever. This one's not too bad. That's an easy skip. This one over here, there's a 3-row here. This one's pretty easy too. Just hug the wall. Preferably hug the left wall because it just puts you in a better position. This one's like this area here. Just be a little careful on this section here. They're also not following the traffic rules. Be careful in that section because the item boxes are coming to you at this one, and also that hill can kind of make it hard to plan where the item boxes are, so you can swerve and avoid. So just be careful on that one. Don't take the red road there. There's a double that's pretty much unavoidable. Plus, you just lose the space anyway. Just don't, you know, turn a corner. Don't take the middle of the road there because of that 2-1 there. This space is really nice. Yeah, once you get through here, it's a free road, right? Like, there's no cars in this section here, so you can take this one to your advantage. I like to think that this is probably the city that Toad's Turnpike was probably in. I don't know, maybe if that overpass is kind of reference to Toad's Turnpike, but that'd be really cool. Anyway, this one is actually, thank God, pretty easy. I didn't have any screw-ups with this one. This one just one race. Yeah, this one's not difficult. You shouldn't have that much trouble. Just kind of, you know, take your sides. Don't worry about losing speed because off-road doesn't punish you on this one. So you can take the sides, like these red roads here, and you don't lose speed. So that's why I have no problem taking this one here because it doesn't slow you down at all. So don't be afraid to take the sides and zoom on to the finish, as we're going to do right now. I almost got hit there, actually. I was a little worried. I hugged the wall for that one. Don't get greedy with mushrooms if you get them on the road. Always put item box avoid first. Yoshi Circuit. Okay, I need to breathe. Yoshi Circuit. Let's talk about this one. This one's actually kind of nasty. This one here sucks. Well, the off-road there, the piranha plants, so it's tough. Also, I got hit off there. Also, the disadvantage of being small, you have no weight. So taking on, actually, I skipped that one. I forgot about that. As you can see there. So this beginning one is annoying because this row here, you can take this one to avoid. Take the left side. The right side risks you getting hit by a piranha plant. So the left one is probably the better path, in my opinion. I don't know. Call it as your this one. This one, take the right side off-road. It's not too bad there. Take the time here on this turn, because it's one-way turns, so you can take the time to really just boost on those turbo boosts using your drift. Got hit here. Do I end up winning this one? I hope I do. This one's a risky little one. I don't know why I took the left side. I think the right side might be better, but the left side, I don't know. It's got the piranha plants. So I took that one so many times. I don't know what was going on through my head there. Try to avoid the left side if it's unguarded, if that makes sense. Alright. I was playing dangerously. Yeah, just be careful of the right side, because usually on those right side curves, piranha plants are waiting for you. You just have to really take those into account. Yeah, I got hit by a shell there. Yeah. But yeah, take advantage of that left curb and use your drift boost, because the computers will not be using it on 50cc. Other than the couple of turns that are a little bit, like, risky, it's not that bad. So, like, the ones that have the piranha plants are a little bit risky. I went through it that time. I don't recommend that. I actually got through it. I was probably playing a risky game there. And I don't think I safe state through this that much on this one. And yeah, so I'm going to let you watch this last lap and get ready for the next one. Alright, let's talk about DK Mountain. This one surprised me. I was expecting the worst coming on this mountain, because it was kind of like a precursor to what Rainbow Road's gonna challenge us with us later. But I was surprised. I actually beat this one in one go, and I'll tell you why. The first one, the first out of box we'll talk about back on the second lap here. So the first mountain worry is this one, and this one's pretty easy. Just avoid it from the side. You don't lose speed by heading on the parts that aren't part of the mountain. So take these gray areas with as much abandon as you want. This area sucks just because it's normal. This one is very stupidly tricky. The drift on this one is you need to go for that narrow spot on the left of it. And this one is the opposite, but not that as tricky, because you can go on the right side here and bounce off. And then once you get to the bridge, it's home free. So I'm going to talk about that drift, that first drift. You're going to hopefully see it better when I go on the second lap here. Yeah, the first item box set is much easier on, you know, the other laps because you already have the speed built up. It's just hard on the start because you have to take a little bit of time of the off-road bit. So this one here is pretty easy. It's just a nice little simple jump. Excuse me. Now let's talk about that drift, because this one coming up is kind of tricky and you need to drift properly. You need to get that drift, maybe stop your drift, and there you go. You saw it done perfectly. And then this one here, you just got, this one's pretty easy because you can just kind of hug the wall, and even if you jump the wall, you'll clear it. And then the rest is nice and simple. Just be careful, the bridge as usual. There might be bananas and stuff on it. And I just say, you know, take the loss and go through the off-road section there, because everything else is pretty simple and doesn't take away from you that much. So, take the loss. I just want to note that this is really one of the coolest tracks in this game, just thinking about it, right? You're going down a mountain. You can literally see the mountain bottom where you shot from, and then you get to like just go down the mountain you're kind of clearing through. You get to see the cannon fire from the background if somebody's, if you know, people are going slow enough. This is just a really cool course. I love it. DK got a really cool course in this one. That's good, because I like all the DK courses, honestly. DK Pass is pretty fun. DK gets a lot of snow courses, and then DK Jungle, which was based on the country game, so it was really cool. Anyway, that's enough talking about that. Let's go to Special Cup with the second worst track in this game. Sorry for the late recording. Wario Coliseum. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I had to place second on this one, and you'll see why. And you'll see me screw this one up a lot. Cool course, but yeah, this one is nasty. You either have to avoid, like, wait for somebody to go through it, so then you can go through too, or this is the exact reason why I recommend you take a small cart, because then you can get through this one pretty easy. Thank God this course is only 2 laps, because a third lap of this one is insanity. There's, yeah, this track, and I forgot to start doing autosaves, which I start doing. One thing I want to note to you guys quickly, when you're doing these outside jumps, hopefully I'll show it to you guys, but I recommend to you, if you're going to do the jumps here, with a single box there, take it on the right side, because if you take a jump on the side and it ends up like going too far, you could actually swing yourself out of bounds and launch out of bounds, and then you have to wait for Laka to. Taking the right side, I find on those jumps, lets you ditch those pretty well. And then, thankfully, there's an invisible wall on the right side of those jumps that you can take. You'll see me use the right side every time. Let's talk about the other ones in this course, because I've kind of been focusing on that one. So anyway, a lot of these can be avoided. This one is a nasty one. There's not much room. You can slip by on that side, take it a little slower. You'll lose a bit of speed, but nothing too bad. This one is pretty easy as well. Just take the outer wall. I recommend the left side because you lose a little less space on that one, but I took the right side for that one. This one can suck. Can. Because, yeah, it's spread out. They're not moving, thankfully, but it's just spread out. This one is a round killer. I didn't think I was going to get able to get around this one. You're going to see me flunder around with this one. There is no space. You literally have no space. You have to do that kind of jump. When you go out of bounds, it gets you past here. But you lose the speed. You know, you lose your speed, you lose time. But, yeah, there's no other way. I'm going to show you later on. Alright, let's talk about the jump again. So yeah, take the right side jump whenever possible, because there's an invisible wall on the right side that keeps you in, because they don't want you. Yeah, see? Invisible wall. Take the right side every time on those ones. And this one, get lucky. Yeah, you're gonna see me go through this a while. That's what happens when you go on the left side. Take the right side every single time for these ones. How do I end up actually getting through this? Let's find out. Oh, very dodge. That was close. I think I'm going to do a save state probably coming up here. There it is. So yeah, with a small car you could do some dodges on some of these, but a lot of these are just tight and annoying and obnoxious. Yeah, this is a pretty nasty course. This course for this challenge just sucks. And if I was doing this without save states, I'd probably lose my mind because it's nasty. Yeah, that happened. Oh, and I loaded state. I lost progress there. So yeah, hug the left side on that one. Use that guide rail. Try not to fall off. That's a good possibility too. You can fall off that one too. There you go. Kind of just tug, like kind of softly put your controller to the, like turn your control stick to the right when you're taking that next turn because it saves you a bit of time. Also, I lose position there. I was like, oh, can I get it back? No, you can't. Hug the right wall this time. And now it's like I'm trying to overwhelm these big giants that can push me around. And I do it. This one sucks. I think I ended up, yeah. I lost more progress there as well. Oh, lovely. This track has a barrel of... This one is the second worst. Just letting you guys know. This, yeah. I'm glad it's only 2 laps, because if I had to do a third, I probably would have lost my mind. And I slipped through that time, so that one's slippable. You can slip through that one. This one's not too bad. Just slip on the sides. Hug the wall for safest measure. Left side is probably for the best in this one. I was getting really excited. I had first, and then I forgot not this one, because this one's pretty easy to dodge. Hug the right wall. This one coming up. You're going to see me play with this one a lot. So I wanted to I was trying to figure out, like, can you hug the wall a little bit? I was trying to do that jump I did last time. Then I'm like, hey, I can, you know, I'm a small cart. I can make some space. Let's try it. No. Yeah, here we go. This is the fail reel of me trying to figure out what to do with this one. Yeah, yeah. It doesn't care how small your cart is on this one. Everything hits. You're basically guaranteed. So I was curious, what if you do this one, fall out of bounds like that? No. You've got to fall out of bounds in that specific location that I did. So I think it's about here. I tried to copy it, and I did. Hug the left wall on that one, and do the out of bounds. And unfortunately, no matter how much I would want to try, I didn't want to try that again, so I took second place on this one. Knowing figuratively that I'd have to win first place in every course in order to do this, you know, in order to pass Special Cup. Dino Jungle is not terrible, but I thought it was a round ender at one point, and not because I need this. This part's not too bad. So that stuff's pretty easy. Avoid the logs. This one, I think I was playing too greedy and took the side path. You can play the side path, it's clear. The only path you can't take on this drawbridge, don't take the left path. That orange path, because of the 2 item boxes there. And then just either take the normal path or the boost path, and you'll be fine. Alright, next up. This one. This one's tight. You can hug the left wall and you'll be okay for most of it, but it's pretty tight on that one, so be careful. This next one sucks. This one is pretty tight. I know you can slip by them, but I had a lot of trouble doing it, and I also lost progress. That sucked. I was apparently wanting to taunt the audience that this one kind of can suck. So hug the left wall on that one. You don't lose speed when you hug the wall too on that one, so just go ahead and hug. Save stating, because this one is a nasty one, and I snuck through with Piranha Plant. Or King. Is that? Ew, I don't think it's P Piranha on that one. I guess just say King Boo. Alright, that's the second. We're on to the second lap. I don't even know where the princesses are. Avoid the logs, just too much risk. You lose time, and there's an item space there. Just take the outside there. And again, you have two paths you can take. Just take the normal yellow bridge I found. It's nice and simple. You could take the boost path and not risk anything for items, but you risk dropping off the stage. And there you go, I take first. Finally. Now, hug left wall again. Good. Jump up. I probably save stated. Yep, good. Now I have to do this one solo. And I slipped through. I was surprised. Like, I was prepping to slow down on that one. And let me guess, one of these take me? No, that's like last section there with all the moving ones is deceptively evil. Because not only do those item boxes move on the road, they actually move off-road too. Like, every single one of them has an off-road bit too. So those ones are deceptively evil. It's kind of like Peach Beach, where it's like, the rest of the course is alright, but there's like one or two item boxes that are just terrible, and it's usually the moving ones. And guess what? Moving ones. This time downhill. Alright. I got hit by a water geyser for once. I was like, oh, I can't have that happen. I got really meticulous of how my strategies were happening. Oh, and this part. Let me talk about this part. So I was just driving terribly. And for some reason, this pillar and I decided to have a clash course for a bit. So every time I lose on this one, and by the way, I start losing on this one pretty... Oh, actually slipped through pretty nicely. Good. Wait, didn't I lose on the hill? Yeah. This hill is deceptive. And then I got hit by the pillar. Yeah, it's fun. He's fun. That's save state. Slip through again. I should have save stated right here, but I was like determined to get through this for some reason. And then, yeah, this loop happens for a while. This is why this track is kind of nasty. I was able to time my way through that, but why didn't I save state here? I don't know. Do I lose it again? Oh, I lost it again, right on the last one. And hit the pillar again. I think I actually hit like these item boxes once. No, I got through again. I think I take this one a bit slower. Nope. Yeah, I was not having a good time here. I have a really bad feeling that I start hitting these item boxes by accident. Nope, okay. I did try this course plenty of times, so this one's etched in my memory. I thought this one was going to be a round ender, but we did actually get through Dino Jungle. Now it's time for the worst one of them all, the mean, bad Bowser Castle. And spoiler alert, it's actually not that bad. This one was surprising, because Special Cup was giving me a really big trouble hand, and when I saw Bowser Castle after my testing, thank you, Bowser's Castle. This one isn't too bad. It's got a couple of tricky ones, but overall, this course is much doable. This one is the worst one, because there's not a lot of space to work with. You've got lava and stuff all over. It's not fun. Taking a hit might happen, but you can squeeze through the sides. You just need to play it very carefully, unlike I was. Alright, next room here, the Bowser Jr. room. Pretty easy, just take one of the sides and avoid, well, try to avoid the fire, but just take the outsides of the room and avoid the item boxes in the center. I was getting a punishment with the items here on this one, as you can clearly see. This one's not too bad either. I hope I show it off. Just, oh no, I lost it. And I had to do the whole course again. That sucked. This is why save state is coming. I think the reason why I didn't save state scum on this one is because I knew I could pass it. So my confidence in this one was pretty high. I think I started save stating a little bit though, later in. It's not terrible. I probably could have done this one on. This is probably the only worst one. This is the worst one. Once you get through that room, it's pretty... everything else is pretty good. As long as you don't pull a me, because I learned afterwards, don't worry. So yeah, outside of the Bowser Jr. room, or me playing cocky, Now this one I think I learned, but you have to just stay on the right side. All you gotta do is hug the right side wall, and you'll be fine. This one, as menacing as the Bowser statue still is the easiest one, don't worry. This one you just have to stay on the outsides. Nothing too difficult. So yep, the item boxes are literally on the same positions, on the other sides. Take the right side or left side, and you'll be fine, rocketing your way through to Bowser's Castle. Alright, nothing too much difficult on this one, but let's get a chat, because this one was not bad. The next one, which you guys know what it is the worst. I knew it was the worst, and I was ready to declare the challenge dead after doing this one. But miracles happen. By the way, look, yeah, that's why that dodge could be very difficult. And I save stated kind of far away, but not terribly. It's also a really long course, so this one took a couple tries, only because, you know, this fire pit. Once you get past the fire pit one, it's actually stupidly easy. My recommendation on that one is just follow the red and yellow texturing there, take it a little bit slower, and just get through it safely. Bowser Jr.'s room is really nice and easy, just play at the outside. I want to state this right now, but this is one of my favorite courses. I think, in general, in every Mario Kart, Bowser Castle courses are just so fun to play. I don't know if it's just unique in style. Oh, I lost so much progress there. Oh my god, I did it again. That's why we save state. Don't worry, I'll save state scum when it comes to Rainbow Road. But Bowser Castle levels in general are just, they're really fun. I don't know if it's just the aesthetic design that I love, or if it's just how they play. Like, these are just really unique courses. I love it. It's just, yeah, like let's talk about courses in Mario Kart DS. Bowser Castle DS should make a or I think that one should make a return. There you go. Or remake that one. Because that one's underrated, and I think with a facelift, that one would look really cool. Mario Kart Wii's Bowser Castle is still really cool. I like the upgrade to the Bowser machine here. Like, he gets like a more animation, and you know, it just looks really cool. Mario Kart 7 was actually really cool for different reasons. It's because it kind of goes a little different, right? It's using Mario Kart 7's, you know, gliding and swimming to its fullest, and I think that's one of the coolest things, or maybe even one of my favorite Bowser Castles. On the 64's Bowser Castle is really cool. Mario Kart 8's Bowser Castle is really nice. I like the whole use of anti-grav and the molten rock Bowser thing. I guess it's not a statue at this point anymore. It's probably a living being. Bowser lava rock golem or whatever it is. But yeah, Bowser Castle levels are just really cool. Always have been in this series. Usually my favorite courses. Maybe even more so than Rainbow Road. Sometimes, not always. Anyway, we're gonna wrap this race up. There's nothing much more to explain, as you can probably see. I think we've got 9 minutes of Rainbow Road coming up, so hold on your laundrels. Will I be able to pass Rainbow Road? Well, I don't know. It's a tough course, and you're gonna see why. There's a lot of talking I've got to do about that one. Because this Rainbow Road is the bane of my existence. And also, I save scum through this one a lot. But anyway, that's Bowser Castle. It's not terribly difficult, but it's a long course. So, you know, when you're hitting 4 minutes each course, you know, it gets long. Rainbow Road, let's do it. This one is the absolute worst. Fitting, because it's the last course of the game. Of course it's going to be terrible. But it's terrible in a different way. Let's get to it. Starting off early, this one sucks. So how did I slip through this one, you may ask? Actually, honestly, I don't remember. Nah, just kidding. Let's show you how I slipped through this one, eventually. I think I just did the stop method for this one. Yeah, I went through. Which won't work if we have first place, so keep that in mind. Next worst one is this one, because, oh god, it has to be the worst. I was trying to think of how to slip through this one. I used the safe method. The safe method won't work forever, though. Okay, the next worst one is this one. Yeah, there's no break in this level. It's literally the worst for a reason. I thought about using that mushroom and just call it a challenge. But no, I suffered through it. Also, if you go out of bounds in this section, it sends you right back before it. So you can't out of bounds scum yourself. So I was trying to figure out a method how to do it. I think inevitably I just let somebody collect it, I think. Yeah, slowed down and still got the other one. Because of like the platform being on a slant. And I barely dodged that one too. But we got through. But still no lead, which is pretty much usual for this map. The next one was this one. Pretty much every item box in this game is nasty, but I got through that one, slipped through without losing speed. Too much. And comes the next challenge, this one. Oh god. This one cost me a lot of headache, because trying to figure out how to slip through this one was nasty. So I just decided to take the opponent's slip through. That works for now, but won't get me first place if I have to rely on my opponents to get through. I thought it was going to get a star from that, to be honest. This one's not terrible. I think I slipped through this one yeah, that one's pretty easy to slip through. But that's like the only easy one. It is a nasty stage altogether. Alright, lap 2. Alright, back to this one. I tried hugging the wall, didn't work. Thankfully, I made a save state on lap 2. I was save stating like crazy on this one because I know it was going to be nasty. Actually, to be honest, I almost deemed this one impossible when doing tests, but I played it, and, well, will we be successful? I didn't know what to do about this one, so, of course, I wasted time, lost the space, and, of course, had to give up my spacing. This one here, I snuck through while the princesses let me in. One strategy I really didn't think of through this playthrough is I probably could have, like, hugged really close to, like, second place and made some of this not such a nightmare. I guess I really didn't think about, like, staying right near the second place or being in second place. By the way, sick dodge skills by me. And then, I don't know, I was driving bad. But then I snuck the lead. And then this one, I was not able to slip through that time. Not able that time. I was gonna slip through eventually. I was having a hoot of a time, then slipped through that one. All of these item boxes are terrible, by the way, on this one, except the last one. It's not too bad. This one is probably one of the worst. There's not much room to make it through, and your hitbox takes a lot of it. Then I lost progress. Oh, that star is there, and really shouldn't be. And then I drove off the edge, so I had to go back to it. So how did I slip through it this time? I wanted to keep my lead, so I had to take it a little slower. And I slipped through. I think there's a little bit of a, like, the hitbox and the item boxes, it can be, I think it moves as the item box moves, so I can kind of slip through it in different paths, I guess. Save state there. Slip through, no I didn't. We're gonna slip through it, don't worry guys. Right there, nice. That one's not too bad. I was getting really excited. I was in first place on Rainbow Road, no item boxes hidden, and too many save states to count. And now I had to... That's the thing, is I was in first place, and my goal was to try to keep ahead, which means I really shouldn't rely on, you know, other players to get me through it, which means this part becomes really impossible. Just kidding. I snipped through that one pretty easy, but then there's this one. This one's probably the worst one in the map, just because of how it's positioned and how it is, and I'm like, oh, how do I get through it? So, what did I end up doing this time? Let's take a look. Yeah, this corner is probably the worst one in the game. Let's just be honest. It's terribly placed. Nope. Let's see what I do this time. Look at that! Look at that! Smooth sailing. Just kidding, we're not through yet. There's this one coming up still. Save state probably here. Or here. Okay, save state on top. Oh, there you go. I was gonna say, I thought I remember doing a save state on that half there. This one's... oh, I don't know. It's hard to decide which one's the worst in this map. This track has so many badly placed, like, item boxes, and then add those all together with no room, no, like, outer, like, off-road sections. There's nothing to work with but, like, good timing. That's it. And a bit of luck, to be honest. Right here, I knew it could be done because I did it 2 other times, but I was wondering how can I do it, and I just pulled that. I went ballistic when I did that, by the way. Just letting you guys know, I was out of my chair when I did that. Anyway, this one, not terrible, and I screwed it up. This one's also pretty tight, but definitely not the worst, just because positioning's flat. I think I took a couple moments here to breathe. And I slipped through. Look at that. Next one is the last hard one. This one's the only last hard one, so let's see how I get through this one. Save state of probably right about here. This is when I made it hard for myself. I save stated on the pause menu because I was an idiot. And I was having no luck with this one again. I'm gonna probably eventually be able to sneak through somehow. But it's probably gonna be one of those slips that I'm just like, you know, amazed that I somehow did it. I thought I was done. I thought my run was done right here because of how many times, and I slipped through. Look at that. I was like, save state, save state. Wasn't losing that position. The last hard one that's pretty much the last hard one, because the last one's pretty easy to slip through, because as long as you take the middle. Do I hit it once? No hits. And I was going crazy at this point, and there we go. I was finished Rainbow Road, and everything else. Boom. So yes, can you beat Mario Kart Double Dash without touching any item boxes? It certainly seems so, and I was able to do it, but also a save state. So, yes and no. Technically, if I can do it, even with a save state fixed run, and I can do it in one path, you technically can. It's very difficult, and some courses like Rainbow Road are almost impossible, and Mario Coliseum, those are the big 2. But, you technically can beat Mario Kart Double Dash without touching any item blocks. Thanks for watching the video, guys, and hope you guys enjoy your day.